for today's class, I'm going to suggest that you collect up, if you do happen to have some bricks like these, some yoga bricks, they're foam blocks. They're very helpful. If you have those, you want to collect those up. Or if you have a couple sturdy books or even a box that is quite sturdy. We're going to be doing some postures when we're standing with one foot on the chair. So if your chair is quite high, you might want to use blocks or stacked books instead of the chair. So just go ahead and collect those up and then you can join us. Also, for those who prefer to stay seated in the chair, you're welcome to do that. I will give you lots of options to stay seated when we do our standing postures. Okay, this is our mascot. So let's come seated in the mid chair, feet flat on the floor, hands resting in your lap, and we'll all start together there. When you feel ready, you're invited now to close your eyes. If for whatever reason you prefer to keep your eyes open, you're welcome to do that. Simply allow the eyes themselves to soften. As we reduce the effort of looking outwards, we can turn up the sensitivity to the internal state, the internal senses. Starting to notice the feeling of your body sitting here. Notice the breath. Notice the state of mind, the quality of mind that you are beginning your practice with today. You might even notice the emotional state that you're in as we start practice. Beginning now to establish your yogic breath, your deep belly breath. Inhaling down into the belly, letting your belly expand. Then exhale, contract the belly in, emptying the breath out. Inhale, expand the belly. Exhale, contracting the belly in. Inhale to expand. And exhale to contract. So we're using a bit of an active breath here. So it's a bit of muscular effort and direction for breathing, but never creating a breath for yourself that feels tension-filled or restrictive. Make sure you're always using the breath in a way that creates an ease in the body. And so this is our breath for practice. So along our practice, if you notice that you've lost this active breathing, you've come to more of a shallow chest breath, or you've even maybe started holding your breath. The moment you notice that, simply return to this active yogic breath, this deep belly breath. It will be your anchor to stay present during practice. Good. Taking your hands now onto your knees, letting the arms extend straight, lifting the chest up, lifting the chin slightly, gazing forward. Take a little bit of effort now to drop your sit bones heavier into your chair. So that's going to draw the lower belly in slightly, but see if you can maintain the length of the arms and the openness and lift of the chest. Good. As we maintain that work for the hips, that lengthen the spine, start to turn your head from side to side. Ease any tension from the jaw and soften the throat. Good. Come back into center. This time we're going to lift the chin up towards the ceiling, just as high as is comfortable. So be mindful of the neck. If this is not appropriate for you, keep your chin parallel to the ground and sit taller. On an exhale breath, you can tuck the chin in towards the chest. And again, let's inhale, lift the chin up. Exhale, tuck the chin down and in. And then inhale, lift the chin up. Good. Let's continue this motion, but start to add in movement to the spine. So as you inhale and the chin lifts, the chest lifts, the back arcs slightly. Then as you exhale, the chin drops, the chest hugs in, the belly hugs in, keeping those arms straight. Good. Inhale, slowly coming forward and up. Big breath in. Exhale, curling down and in. Tuck that chin, hug the belly in. Good. Inhale, coming forward and up. Exhale, rounding in. Good. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, forward and up, lift up, look up. Exhale, curling in. So we're going to stay curled in here for a moment. Really enjoy that roundedness in the back. You might even shift a little bit from side to side. See if you can get a bit more stretch through the back. Crawling maybe the fingertips a little bit further forward. Arms are straight. Take one more breath here like this. Then you're going to slide your hands around behind you so you can hold on to the back of the chair, part of the back of the chair. Now, if there isn't a backup to your chair or it's not easy to hold on to there for you, you can put your hands on your hips. Take your inhale breath now, start to sit up nice and tall. Draw those shoulders back, lift the chest up, look up. And if you're holding onto the back of the chair, start to let your hands slide down the back of the chair a little bit, bend the elbows. Breathing here. Be mindful of your spine. So if this is not appropriate for your back, you're going to stay seated, lifting up as tall as you can and breathing those deep yogic breaths. Good. One more inhale here. One more exhale. Next inhale, slowly come back into the center position. You're going to release your left hand from the back of the chair, bring it around towards your right thigh, and gently look off towards your right. Then releasing both hands, inhale both arms up as high as you comfortably can, and exhale over to the other side. We're doing a bit of a flowing twist here. Inhale, sweep the arms up and come on over towards that first side. And then inhale, sweep the arms up and come on over to that other side. Good. One more time on each side. Inhale, lifting up, reaching up, and exhale, coming into the twist. Then inhale, lifting up, reaching up, and coming over to the other side. Good. Inhale, now take the arms back up into center. And extending your arms upward just as much as is comfortable. So if extending upward is painful on your shoulders, your arms might come more straight forward. That's okay too. Then from here, we're going to let the right arm come down. Your right, yeah. Your right arm come down. We're going to keep the left arm extended and slowly arc ourselves over towards the right. As we do though, see if you can keep some weight in the left hip. Come back up into center, let the left arm come down, take the right arm up and arc over towards your left. You notice as we arc over, very common, we actually lean over. Try not to lean over too much. Keep the weight level in the hips and make this motion happen more like a C curve through the spine over towards the left. You've got it. One more breath like this. Then we'll inhale back up to center, both arms lifted. Open the chest up towards the sky, look up, then exhale, fold forward. So if there's any concern for blood pressure, let your elbows rest on your thighs, keep your head above your heart. If there's no concern for blood pressure or pressure behind the eyes, you might allow your elbows to slide off, let the hands come down towards the feet or the shins. Try to let the head go now, let the head hang. So gravity is going to do a little bit of the work here to help lengthen through the spine. Then the hands will come up the front of the legs, inhaling, sweeping them up, past the belly, past the chest, again towards the sky. Exhale, folding down. Moving with your breath, big active breaths here, inhaling, rolling up. Exhaling, folding forward. Good, inhale, rolling up, reaching up. Exhale, folding down. Good, one more time, inhale, rolling up, sweeping up. And exhale, folding forward. Very nice. From this forward fold, let's all bring our elbows up onto our thighs and take the feet a little bit wider apart. Make sure though that as the legs go wider, you're staying seated on your chair. You're not sliding off. Good. We're going to keep the elbows on the thighs here for this one as we come into a longer spine. So we're actually bringing the chest forward And if you could imagine that I was able to come up to you and in a very loving way started to pull on your collarbones. The collarbones are leading the way, bringing your chest forward. Very nice. Press a little bit in the feet so the legs aren't collapsing in. There's a little bit of effort in the legs. Good. One more breath here. Now you're welcome to stay like this. If you want to go a little bit deeper, this is a variation of happy baby. So we could bring our hands down towards the floor, towards the feet. Another option is if you do have some books or blocks close by, you could put them on the floor on the inside of the feet and use them for support underneath your hands. The chest is still open, drawing forward, gaze is forward, breathing here. Giving that low back a few moments to create some space. Very nice. If you're using blocks, release the blocks off to the sides. Bring your hands up onto your knees now, and with a nice big breath, lift straight up. Nice long spine. Keep inhaling as you lean back. Bringing your belly over to your left thigh. Exhale and sweep yourself down and across. Inhale, lifting up and back. Exhaling down and across. Good. Inhaling up and back. Very nice. We're keeping a straight spine here as we circle into the hips. Let's change directions. Go the other way. Ensure that you're still maintaining that yogic breath, that belly breath. Good. One more time like this. Nice big circle. Coming back up to seated. We're going to keep our legs wide for a moment. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring your arms out in front. Interlace your fingers. And if it's available to your fingers, you might release your index fingers, like you're pointing straight forward. Sometimes that can put a fair bit of pressure on the knuckles, so you can always keep those fingers tucked in. Arms are straight here. We're going to add into this circle motion we were just doing. So on an on an inhale breath, you're going to lean back, keeping the arms reaching forward. So again, like I came along and started to pull on your hands. Your arms are reaching forward as you inhale and lean back. Then as you exhale, keep those arms forward and reach them out. Fold forward, reach forward. Inhale, come back, leaning back, feet flat on the floor. Good. Exhale, coming forward. Good. Inhale, sweeping those shoulders back. Good. Exhale, coming forward. One more time. Inhale to reach back. Exhale now as we come forward. You're going to take those hands, sweep them over towards your right. Keep the arms straight, leaning back and going over towards your left. I like to imagine here I'm stirring a really big pot. The arms are staying straight and you're trying to scrape around the edges of that pot. Good. Let's try the other direction. Stir that pot in the opposite direction. Nice. One more big circle here. Very good. Coming back into center, keep those hands interlaced, but let's flip the palms forward. All right, give those shoulders a good wiggle. They're getting a good workout this morning. You're going to walk your feet in. So now they're more directly in line with your hips. So there's about a 2-fist distance between your feet if you were to measure. Toes pointing straight forward. Again, be mindful of your shoulders. Maybe your arms stray straight out. Maybe you take your arms overhead, pressing down into the feet. Now, if you have any concerns for your knees, you're going to stay seated like this, pressing into the feet, reaching up through the palms. On your next inhale, you might lift your hips out of the chair and rise to stand, or you might stay seated. On your exhale, if you're standing, bend those knees, sit yourself back and down into the chair. Good. Inhale, rise up, stretch through those arms. And then exhale, bend those knees and sit back and down. Good, one more time. Inhale, coming up. Good, slow exhale now. Bend those knees, sit back, and pause at that moment before you sit down. Or maybe you're already sitting. That's okay. Stay seated. Let the arms down. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, let the arms down. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Another big inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, arms down. Now press into those feet and rise all the way up. Sweep up, look up. Exhale, let the arms go. Good, let's give those arms a good shake out. So you're welcome to stay seated if you're seated, or you can come up now to join us standing. Either option's okay. But we're gonna come back into our Tadasana. So whether you're seated or standing, feet are parallel, palms forward, shoulders back, eyes closed. Maybe for you today, eyes just stay open, but are soft. Find that yogic breath again. Good. Very nice. Okay, let's take the chair now. Bring the chair or bring yourself around so that the chair is on one side of your body. Doesn't matter which side, but just make sure it's on one side of the body so you have it there for support. Also make sure any props you might be using were off your mat or out of your space, so there's no chance of tripping on them. And then coming back into your Tadasana, standing up nice and tall. But you know that your chair is there for support. And begin to march your legs in place. So we're going to start lifting one leg at a time. Lifting and lowering from the earth so that the feet land right back into the spot that they lifted from. So if you're sitting in the chair, the action is the same, though you're seated. Good. Now you have the option, for those especially who are standing, to keep a hold of the chair there for support. If you're feeling pretty steady in the marching, you can add in your arms, swinging the opposite arm to leg. Haha, there we go, good. Nice. Notice your breathing here. So that make the speed of this motion what you need it to be to maintain your breathing. Good. Now for some of you looking for a little bit more challenge today, you could slow the motion down. That's going to require a little bit more work from balance. You might even pause at one point before switching sides. Good. Good work. If you've slowed it right down to increase that challenge, let's pick up the speed again a little bit. And let the arms down and just move the legs. Good. And then letting both feet come back down onto the floor. Turn your palms open. Once again, coming into your Tadasana. Feeling that deep breath. Letting the energy in the legs settle just a little bit. Good. And then if you're using your chair today, you're going to turn your chair around so the seat of the chair is facing you. So this is where our blocks or books might come in helpful. If you are using blocks or books, you're going to place them underneath the chair, just slightly to the right-hand side. Maybe out a little bit depending on your chair. My chair has a bit of a lip, so I'm going to put my blocks a little bit further out. Wherever you are, whether you're seated or standing, you're in your Tadasana here. Good. Those who are standing, you're going to fold forward from the hips. Take a hold of the back of the chair with your right hand, a hold of the seat of the chair with your left hand, and then you'll lift your right foot maybe up onto the chair, maybe up onto the blocks. Now, if you don't have any blocks or books and the chair is a bit too high for you, you could simply step your right foot under the chair, taking your left foot maybe a little bit further back. Good. If you're seated, You're gonna bring your right knee into your belly, interlace your hands there, sit up nice and tall. Good. If you're standing, steady yourself. Make sure your right foot is fully on the support, whether it's chairs, blocks, or the floor. And then maybe bring both hands up to the back of the chair. See how that feels. Now, if that feels unsteady, you can bring your hands back down. From there, lift the chest, looking forward. And from here, you might start to bring your hands up onto your front thigh. But if you're sitting in the chair, you're continuing to hold the right knee into the belly, breathing deep, sitting tall. Good. Those sitting in the chair now can release the right foot onto the floor, and let's all slowly start to lift the arms up. Now, if you're standing and this feels a little wobbly, make sure to bring a hand onto the chair. Steady yourself. Good. From here, we'll take our left hands across to the right thigh. Right hand can come down onto the right hip. And you're going to slowly turn towards your right. Press equally into both feet as you gently twist. Now remember, that chair is there for support. So if you're feeling wobbly, use the chair for support. If you're standing, you might release your right arm, extending it more behind you. Be mindful of your shoulder there. Ensure you're maintaining that yogic belly breath. Good. Well done. Let's inhale now, slowly unwind. Right hand comes back onto the hip, turning to face the chair. Bring your hands onto the back of the chair. Good. If you're sitting in the chair, bring your hands now behind your right thigh. So you're going to interlace your hands behind your right thigh. If you're standing, you're going to move your right foot a little bit out towards the right. So now both hands could come onto the seat of the chair. So both hands are coming on to the center of the chair on the inside of the right foot. Good. Then from there, we're going to slowly drag our hips back, straightening out through the right leg a little bit. Good. So the right leg doesn't have to come perfectly straight, but you're working towards straightening. If you're in the chair, you're holding behind your right thigh, you're inhaling to extend. And then we'll all together exhale to bend into that right knee. Inhale to gently straighten. Exhale to bend. Good. Inhale to straighten. And then exhale to bend. Very nice. One more time. Good. From here, you can take a hold of the back of the chair now with your right hand. Ease the right foot off the chair. Planting both feet onto the floor, holding the sides of the chair. Let's walk the feet back into downward facing dog. If you're sitting in your chair, both hands together, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward, lengthen the spine. Good. Looking towards the chair now, walk your feet up towards the chair. So we're not coming right up against the chair. We want to, again, give ourselves a little bit of space here. As the left hand's going to come up onto the back of the chair, and then maybe the left foot comes onto the chair. Reminder though, maybe you use blocks or books. They're going to come over to the left-hand side of the chair, and your foot might rest on there instead. And if you're sitting in the chair, you're holding your left leg, hands around the thigh or the shin. Then from there, especially those who are standing, ensure you're using some strength in your legs. Press into your feet before bringing your hands onto the chair, the back of the chair. Lifting the chest now, looking forward. Breathing here. Some of you might stay here like this. There's lots to work with here in strength, flexibility, and balance. If you're feeling steady though, you might start to bring your hands up to your front thigh. If you're sitting in the chair, you can bring your left foot onto the floor, and then maybe we lift the arms up overhead. Being aware of the feet on the ground, really press into the feet. And then your right hand can come across to your left thigh. The left hand will come around behind you onto your hip, and you start to twist now towards your left. Good. Deep belly breaths here. Maybe you extend that left arm now out behind you for the last couple breaths. Stay steady with your gaze. And then on your inhale, slowly unwind, bringing the hands onto the back of the chair. Good. If you're sitting in the chair, you're going to bring your left knee back into your belly and hold behind your left thigh. If you're standing, your hands are going to come onto the seat of the chair. Make sure your left foot is out to the left a little bit. Then we inhale and we gently straighten that left leg. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Then we're going to bend that left knee as we exhale. Look forward. Inhale to straighten. Good. Exhale to bend. Nice. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good. Moving with your breath, nice and slow. This does not have to be fast. Next time you bend into that left knee, pause there for a moment. Take your left hand up onto the back of the chair as you work your left foot off. Bringing your left foot down onto the ground. Holding onto the sides of the seat of the chair, walk your feet back into your downward facing dog. Good. Deep, long belly breaths here. Good work. Then looking towards the chair, walk your feet up towards the chair. Bring your hands up onto the back of the chair, pausing there. We had our head down for a fair bit, so take your time coming up. If there's any lightheadedness or dizziness, you're going to come to sit in your chair for a moment, let it pass. Otherwise, as you come up to stand, or even as you come up to sit, you're coming up into your Tadasana. Shoulders back, heart open, maybe eyes closed, breathing here. Notice there's might be some residual tension in the body. We did a little bit of effort there. So if there's some residual tension, see if you can let it go. Standing tall and proud, but also at ease. Good. Good. Opening the eyes now. If you're comfortable coming to the floor, you can use your chair for support and make your way down onto your mat. Coming to lay down onto your back, bringing your legs up on the chair. Good. If you're sitting in the chair, stay seated in the chair, but slide yourself all the way to the back of the chair. Letting your feet come onto the floor, or if they dangle, make sure you have blocks or support under the feet. And then whether you're on the ground or sitting in the chair, bring your hands onto your belly, soften the shoulders and close your eyes. Start to feel the motion and energy of the breath in your belly. Still encouraging that yogic breath. We're going to do now just a few rounds of our Brahmari breath, our bumblebee breathing. So on your exhales, you'll rest your tongue gently at the roof of your mouth and hum to sound a little bit like a buzzing bumblebee. And then your inhale breaths will happen naturally, taking again that little bit active exhale breath, humming like a bumblebee. And we'll do 10 of these breaths and we'll do them together. So let's take an inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Take another natural inhale breath now through the nose. Place your tongue at the roof of your mouth and begin to Brahmari. Last one. Let your tongue drop away from the roof of your mouth now. Soften your jaw and your throat. If you're sitting in your chair, slowly allow yourself to fold forward, being mindful of blood pressure here if you need to keep your head above your heart. If you're lying on the ground, you can gently ease your knees into your belly, wrap your arms around your legs and give the legs a squeeze in. And then for those of you who are lying on the ground, you're going to roll yourself onto one side. Push yourself away from the chair so that you can come to lay down onto the ground without anything kind of in your way or hindering your space. So those of you lying on the ground, make sure you're able to lay with your legs straight out. Those sitting in the chair now, you're going to roll up to seated and sit a little bit forward in the chair. Let's all take our feet a little wider apart, at least as wide as your hips, maybe even wider, and start to sway your knees from side to side. If you're lying on the floor, the next time your knees go to your left, let them stay there. You might take your left foot on top of your right thigh, if that feels okay for your knees and hips. If not, the feet can stay wide on the floor, but the knees are falling to the left. If you're sitting in the chair, you'll bring your knees back up to center and walk yourself around towards the right-hand side of the chair. Feet flat on the floor, hands coming around to the back of the chair. As we come into our closing twist here, release the effort of breathing. Start to settle into a little bit more of a natural breath, trusting the space that you've now created in your body to help create a bit of a fuller breath all on its own. If you're lying on the floor and you have your left foot resting on your right thigh, slide the left foot off, keep the feet wide apart, let your knees rise back up into center and allow the knees to fall over towards your right. Maybe placing your right foot on top of your left thigh. Now, if you're sitting in the chair, you're going to unwind yourself, walk yourself around to the other side. Feet still flat on the floor, hands coming around to the back of the chair. Good. One more breath like this. And then slowly unwinding yourself, coming back into center. For those lying on the floor, it might feel good again to bring both knees into the belly. For those sitting in the chair, take your feet again a little wider apart and fold forward here, maybe elbows on the thighs. We're coming into the posture we were practicing closer to the beginning of our practice. Hands could come towards the ankles or towards the feet into this happy baby. If you're lying on the floor, you might let your knees go wide and hold onto your shins with each hand. So right hand on your right shin, left hand on your left shin. If it's available to you and you're lying on the floor, your arms might come to the inside of the legs, taking a hold of the feet with your hands, coming into a happy baby here on the ground. Wherever you are, though, ensure that you're able to breathe easily. So not restricting your breath at all. And then slowly release. If you're seated, you're inhaling yourself back up to sitting. If you're lying on the floor, the feet can come to the ground, maybe extending your legs out now onto the earth. If you're in the chair, you'll scoot all the way to the back of the chair, using supports for the feet, if that feels of benefit to you. Those in the chair, hands will rest into your lap, easing effort off of the shoulders. For those lying on the floor, allow your arms to go wider out to the side. Let the palms turn up. And then close your eyes here. And to come into our Savasana today, we're going to practice another pranayama, a breath work, called Anuloma Viloma, or alternate nostril breathing. You'll begin by increasing your sensitivity, your awareness to the air that is moving in and out of your nose. Just notice how very often one nostril seems to be doing more work than the other nostril. That one nostril seems to be drawing more air in and out than the other nostril. So simply with this awareness of breath, we're going to guide the breath now in through one nostril, out through the other nostril, and then back again. And I'll guide us as we go. So just using breath awareness to move the breath itself. So let's begin by taking a full exhale breath out both nostrils. Now guiding your breath in through your left nostril. Good. Exhale now. Imagine that breath coming out strictly through the right nostril. Good. Drawing that breath in now through the right nostril. Imagining that breath coming strictly out the left nostril. Now bringing that breath in through the left nostril. Imagining it heading out the right nostril. Inhale through the right. Exhale out the left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Last one here. Exhale left. And release the effort of breathing. Feel your natural breath settle back in. Closing the eyes if you haven't already. Softening the gaze. Allowing any sense of expression on the face to gently melt off the face. Let it soften the face muscles. Soften the eyebrows, the jaw, the mouth. Feel your body continually settle into a deeper and heavier state. Releasing effort, releasing the energy of doing, and settling that energy into a calmer space, a more balanced space of simply being. Being in this moment, here and now, just as you are, knowing that nothing needs to change right now. There's nowhere you need to go or nothing you need to do. Simply remaining present in the here and now. allowing the body to remain just as it is here. Start to gently deepen your breathing. Taking some fuller inhales and exhales. Maybe you start to move through your toes, waking up sensitivity in the feet. Start to move through your fingers, waking up that sensitivity in the hands. You might start to move your tongue around, your jaw around, or even start to move the features of the face up and down and side to side. If you're lying on the floor, slowly start to bend one knee at a time. Place your feet on the ground. Extend one arm overhead and gently roll to that side, curling into the fetal position on one side. If you're sitting in the chair, you can gently fold forward. Again, maybe resting elbows on the thighs. Keeping the eyes closed for a few more moments here as we ease ourselves towards the end of practice. If you're lying on the ground, you can start to make your way up slowly to sit, either sitting on the floor or sitting in your chair, whichever feels best for you, but take your time. There's no rush to get there. If you're sitting in the chair, you're going to ease yourself up to sit up nice and tall, again, scooting forward so you're sitting slightly away from the back of the chair. And then once in your seat, whether on the floor or in your chair, bring your hands together in front of your heart, meet the palms to touch. Gently bow the head down towards the heart. And take this opportunity to remember one person, maybe one person today or one person from this week, who've just made it a little bit easier for you to be here and to practice, to carve out this time for yourself. Think of that person who supports you in this time of practicing yoga. And send them a big thank you. Thank you to you for continuing to come and to practice yoga together. Namaste.